and go ahead and move into our opening presentation with Mo from Pipe17 and Victoria from MaryRuth's. Mo, Victoria, how are you guys doing?
Excellent. Thank you, Derek.
Hello, hello. Awesome. I'm going to let you guys take it away.
Fantastic. Very good. Well, firstly, Victoria, welcome. It's great to have you on this e-commerce Ops Summit.
Oh, it's great to be here, Mo. Thank you for having me.
Fantastic. Great. Well, firstly, tell us more about yourself and MaryRuth. I mean, we've been working with you guys for a while. I love the brand. I love the team, but share with everybody else.
Right. Thanks. Well, I'm a business analyst here at MaryRuth's, and that's the person who comes in and says, okay, here's how we need to change the business, and here's also how we need to do it. And so we make recommendations about different business business processes and how those can be tweaked or optimized to create more efficiencies across the board. So I've been here about a year, and I have a background in serialized inventory, so whatever that might be, as well as a lot of Amazon and most recently retail media tech as well. So I'm really fascinated with the psychology of the purchase and what leads a customer to purchase the first time and subsequent times. So I was attracted to MaryRuth Organics because they were growing so quickly, and they also believe in providing such a quality product for their customers that really changes their lives. MaryRuth started the company with her mom, Colleen, back in 2016, and MaryRuth was a health consultant. Can you hear the train? I'm sorry. She was a health consultant in New York City, and she really worked to improve people's health through their lifestyle. And she's a very big fan of time blocking and being very rigorous in moving forward every day. So the commitment to doing the same things well is what she has founded the company on. And she found that her clients who were doing intermittent fasting were getting like sick to their stomachs when they would take these big multivitamin pills every morning. And I don't know if you've experienced this before, but a lot of multivitamins, they're hard to take and they make people's tummies upset. So she created a liquid multivitamin specifically for this case, but it really helps a lot of other people take their multivitamins every day. Maybe if you have problems swallowing, or you don't like to take those big horse pills. So since then, we've expanded to over 300 products. We've got about 100 in the pipeline, and we are Amazon native. So we started out on Amazon, and we've grown to almost all the channels since then. We do a lot of liquid multivitamins, like I said, but also gummies, and we specialize in sugar-free gummies, which I appreciate, as well as other herbal droppers and supplements. And anybody who's been in Amazon and e-com knows that supplements are hard. Like, it's hard to win. It's hard to stay on top. It's expensive to stay on top too. And the cost per acquisition on those customers is really high. So what gives us a leg up in this arena is that we're not just a supplement company. We're a health and lifestyle education company as well. So MaryRuth has a lot of good books. She does live fireside chats where people come in. It's a Zoom meeting. They hop on and they tell the stories about how her products have literally changed their lives. So I really enjoy that. And I just got a new copy of her time blocking journal.
Wow.
And at the bottom it says structure creates freedom. Well, I don't know if you can see that. It says structure creates freedom. And I underlined that because when I came to MaryRuth's, there were a lot of all hands on deck situations. Like, we've grown so fast. We're selling a bottle of supplements every 17 seconds. So we've grown really fast. Thus the proliferation of spreadsheets. I know Derek said earlier, like, we want people managing processes and technology instead of spreadsheets. And when I first came in, we'd grown so quickly, the only way to stay on top of that was to hire more people, let them manage a spreadsheet, lots and lots of manual processes. And I've taken MaryRuth's motto that structure creates freedom, and I wanted to bring that to the order management process. So my boss joked the other day that he was going to get me a hat that said spreadsheet killer. And so now that's an inside joke that I'm the spreadsheet killer. But we don't just hate Excel. We use that, for other processes, but not things that you need to do every day. So we want to focus on letting our people use their brains and their hands for smarter things other than just manual updates.
That's an amazing story. Innovation clearly is at the heart, I think, of everything the company does, and customer centricity. So help the viewers understand a little bit. How does everything work from an operational perspective, from a sales perspective, from an IT perspective? Where do you sell? Where do you fulfill? Just give everybody a sense of the size of the business, because we know it's a pretty sizable business end to end.
Yeah, we're moving a lot of product, and of course we started out on Amazon, but that's not where everybody wants to shop. And I do believe firmly in meeting the customer where they're hanging out, not only with the opportunity to purchase, but whatever else they need, whether that's an incentive, whether that's information, whether that's that's for me too, because we process the sale with our eyes, and we have a very short amount of time to figure out what is something, A, what is something, B, if it's for me, and then C, how do I get it? And all of this stuff happens in our brains very, very quickly. So of course we started out on Amazon, and we've optimized that process. We've got a great team there who are just, every time you turn around, we've got a new bestseller badge or Amazon's Choice badge. And it's, we want to get people pins for their shirts about how many number of bestseller badges they get. But expanding out from there, it's been it's made things complicated in terms of fulfillment for D2C, because of course you start doing not only FBA but FBM, and then you want to sell on Target and Walmart also, and have them do the fulfillments, have us do the fulfillments. How quickly do you need to get those orders out the door? Okay, so now we're growing big. We've got more products. We're selling more stuff. It's time to get more warehouses, right? More warehouses. Okay, well, maybe we've got some elderberry products that are very popular on maybe the West Coast in Seattle in the wintertime, because people start getting colds there earlier. I don't know. Or maybe we go viral or get very popular on a social media channel, because we're, of course, on Instagram and Facebook doing the meta thing as well. Do we sell out of one product in one warehouse? We don't know. That's the risk with going viral, but we love it, and we try to do it as often as possible. And so it really gets quite complicated. And of course, we've run the gamut of meeting the customer where they're hanging out, on Macy's, through QVC, and of course, recently we've turned TikTok Shop on. That comes with its own challenges, but we're having days now where we're selling more on TikTok than we are on Shopify for our D2C, and that's crazy. We're in top 10 in our category, basically just by turning on the channel, and so that's amazing. But I guess we'll get into some of the challenges of turning on new channels in a few, but something we've had to deal with in the last 6 months is how do we expand into those brick and mortar stores, because that's also meeting the customer where they're hanging out. Perhaps they've purchased online before, but people are still shopping for groceries in person these days, thankfully. So how do we get into and maintain stock at Publix and CVS and Kroger and Hy-Vee and Whole Foods? And these are all places where we have product placement. And so it's luckily a lot of things are falling into place for us.
Well, I mean, it's great. I mean, sell something every 17 seconds. I don't think, many people can't say that. And then obviously hundreds of employees, meeting customers where they are, and then giving them a great, brand promise, right? In terms of like delivery and quality of the goods and the innovation in there. It creates complexity.
It's complex. We also have.
How do you deal with it?
Well, we have a customer happiness guarantee, because Mary Ruth, she really wants to prioritize the customer experience and make sure they're happy with the product. So that's what our customer care agents are doing a great job dealing with. But sometimes they get calls saying, "Hey, I ordered 2 products. Where's my second product? I only got one thing in a box." And as you grow and expand, sometimes you don't have enough hands to think ahead. Okay, if we sell out of one product in one warehouse and people are still buying these things, how do we route that order to fulfillment at the warehouse that has both of these items? And so that's where Pipe17 is helping us cut down on the noise of the decision making. We get to route those things ahead of time. We get to plan for those things ahead of time. But me personally, I've taken the approach of making a process flow diagram for every sales channel, and then seeing where the pinch points or pain points could possibly be. Where could things break down? And are these things being handled, in a spreadsheet? How often are they being handled in that spreadsheet? Should it be daily? Because for these channels, we have different requirements to get those customers their orders. So it's a lot of moving parts.
A lot of moving parts indeed. And of course, the question obviously arises is, how do you optimize all these moving parts? We know you guys have an ERP, you guys use NetSuite as a source of truth and a whole bunch of other systems. What are some of the key things that you're doing to optimize your operations as you grow and innovate and expand?
Well, one thing for sure is being able to route those orders to fulfillment at the warehouse that they need to be fulfilled at. That's because, like Derek said, half of it is getting the product and another half of it is getting it to the customer. So that helps get the order to the customer on time. But in terms of getting the product into our hands and into our system, Pipe17 has really helped us on our purchase order process, because if you can imagine, we're ordering a lot of product and we may not know on the day that we order that product which warehouse we need to send it to. So Pipe17 actually worked with us to develop an ASN system where we don't have to specify where that inventory is going until we know which truck it's on. And it really cuts down on somebody having to go and update a spreadsheet, call the warehouse. Hey, did you get that product? Okay, now I can update the system and make that inventory available for allocation. It just happens automatically instead of having a 48-hour lag time where a diligent and talented human had to go in and double check a bunch of things.
Lag times are bad, as I put into the chat. I guess kind of at a higher level, as you think through things, how are you thinking about the direction forward? So clearly you've certainly got a great handle on where you are. You've got a platform in place, Pipe17 plus NetSuite, but think strategically about the supply chain, about how you handle Amazon, how you optimize shipment. Just give the audience a sense of like, what's next? So now you've done the automation, everything flows, the data synchronized. What comes next?
So something that's been a big deal for us and probably anybody else selling on Amazon is that I guess Amazon's not making enough money. They decided they're not making enough money. And so they've pushed the burden of shipping inventory to their different distribution centers or fulfillment centers back onto the seller. So instead of sending 500,000 units into one warehouse, Amazon is telling us, no, send 100,000 units here, send 50,000 units here. And that created a lot of confusion for us to decide to move inventory start organizing that movement of the inventory in for those FBA shipments, and then to be told, oh, wait, split that order into 5 different transfer orders. Otherwise, well, if you don't want to, you have the option of paying a $5,000 placement fee. I don't think that's feasible for most people or businesses, or that you want to do that. So that complicates the game, and that increases the touch points that our employees have to go through and double check. It increases the number of emails back and forth to the warehouse. Oh, hey, did you get these correct shipping labels, this, that, and the other? And so really slowing it down. And we're moving towards utilizing Amazon Freight. And so having these things all organized and ready to go so that our employees are focusing on creating and checking the shipments instead of just being clear about how many units need to go on which shipment. That's really the next step in our business, and that's what we're configuring right now, is that automated handling of splitting TOs into Amazon, and even being able to do it, from different warehouses where we have the inventory if possible. So it's leveling up our employees basically on all terms. So if there's a chance to interact with technology that has anything to do with inventory, we want these things automated. We want them kept in a system where we don't have to do edits. And that reflects back to NetSuite as our source of truth, like you said.
Look, I think that's a great, tidbit of advice, because obviously, as the volume goes up, and you guys are, $500 million business. So as the volume of stuff goes up, and then more and more transfers being done between warehouses, doing it with spreadsheet ends up being incredibly hard, right? And so having, 100% on-time delivery can make the difference between incurring all these costs from Amazon or Walmart or others that you're shipping goods to, and not incurring them and saving them. So that's definitely very, very significant. I think it's a great takeaway for the audience, because I think, many people out there use, Amazon multi-channel fulfillment. They use fulfillment by Amazon, but having to figure out, break down where those shipments actually should be sent to, which is, I think, what you're saying needs to be done to save money, is something that requires automation. So thank you for that, Victoria. So Victoria, you talked a little bit about order operations as a concept, and we talk about it a lot, but what does it mean to you?
To me, I think back on like the industrialization of food and consumer packaged goods. And really, Ray Kroc said that the French fry was his canvas, because somebody told him, like his French fry supplier told him, hey, McDonald's is not in the business of selling hamburgers. You're in the business of selling French fries. So although MaryRuth's may be in the business of supplements and health, I'm in the business of getting orders on time in full to my customers, whether that be, a big brick and mortar retailer or a lifetime customer who's purchased 100 times from us and has subscriptions, or maybe somebody who's trying out a new product. Because it only takes one cold French fry. If we relate back to that analogy of the French fry being your canvas, it only takes one bobble along the way, because this is a premium product. We're sourcing ingredients that are organic, premium. The customers expect to be kept up to date about if there's been a delay in their order, or if they're going to be receiving a split fulfillment. If we have to do that, we choose to, or we try to cut down on split fulfillments as much as possible, because it not only costs us money, it's bad for the environment. It's just hands down silly. So for me, order management is the art of delivering on time and making that smile that's expected from a customer. So really cutting down on all that complexity and focusing on what is our actual product here. It's a happy customer. It doesn't matter how many spreadsheets we have to kill. What is going to create that customer experience? And I think channels like TikTok or TikTok Shop, they're pushing the boundaries of customer expectation for delivery, because we just found this out recently. say I order 3 or 4 things in my cart on TikTok Shop, and I get 3 of those things, within 48 hours because I live near Austin, Texas. There's quick fulfillment. But TikTok Shop is going and they're refunding my entire purchase if I don't get that last line item within 3 days, the entire purchase. And so they're really committed to that customer happiness kind of thing, and the quality of the shopping experience, because they don't want people to leave the channel. They want people to continue to purchase there. So it's realizing what the customer wants and giving it to him, making sure they get it.
And that's a big consideration, because obviously, lots of channels, and with the new social channels. I mean, I know you guys have 50, 60 customer service agent that basically make sure that those customers are taken care of, so you don't have all these downstream impacts for refunds and various other things, while at the same time being able to deliver on kind of the promise, which is kind of this modern brand promise concept that people like Rick Watson talk about.
Right. And another thing I wanted to bring up was on some of these channels, they're offering incentives to, like on TikTok Shop, on Meta, they're telling us as the sellers, we'll give you a discount, but we'll pay for it. So then the customer pays, 75% of their cart. The channel is not paying us that other 25% of that order until after fulfillment. So when this first starts out, when we first realize what's going on with this offer, it's great. You have to take advantage of it. You have to be first mover. How do you get that order to fulfillment? It's customer care people going in and recreating an order in another system, and then manually setting a reminder to go back and cancel this one in the other system. It blows your mind, but that's what it takes to stay ahead of it. And then we've been able to turn around, to Pipe17 as a partner and say, hey, we're experiencing this problem. How can we innovate the solution? And, you guys have already thought of it. It's ready to go.
Well, would love to think that. But we always try to do what's right to help our customers optimize that experience. So, final question for you, Victoria. What are some of the key takeaways you'd like to leave the audience with? I mean, you've barely been doing what you've been doing at MaryRuth's for a year. You've done amazing things in terms of, I'm sure you've saved them millions and millions of dollars, both in terms of cost, but also radically improve customer service, and also help, expand to all these new channels where sales come from. And what are the key takeaways you'd like to leave the audience with? People like yourself who are thinking about, what they're doing day to day. Maybe they're a $50 million brand, maybe they're a $100 million brand, maybe they're a $1 billion brands. How do you think about some advice for them as they're watching?
Well, I would definitely say put yourself in the shoes of your coworkers who are having to maintain those spreadsheets. Put your shoes in the customer who wants a good quality experience, and then make a process diagram. Identify your pinch points. And once you say, here are the things that we can change to make things better, market those things to your stakeholders within your own organization, because you definitely need support from them. Change is hard, change is stressful, and change is risky. And, if you're selling a bottle every 17 seconds, you might experience some hesitation to just completely revamp everything. So I've been really, really fortunate that with Pipe17, we can go through each part of our big, big web of fulfillment and order management and do one thing at a time. So I'm optimizing one thing at a time, and that helps make change easier for people. And then once they see, oh man, that's so much easier now, it's easier to keep doing the next thing.
Those are some great takeaways. I mean, certainly I've always been a big believer in kind of incremental progress. It's always hard to do a big bang thing and be super successful with it, but finding tactical problems and solving them, and we of course pride ourselves in having a platform that enables that, is a big thing for us. But I think kind of at a higher level, I think as some of the key takeaways, at least that I took away, was one, kill the spreadsheets as you scale your business. It's going to be really hard. Having to innovate across the entire company, not only on the product, but also on the operations, on the brand promise, on the customer service is key to be able to grow and expand your brand. And then having a solid understanding of how you want things to look like, which was like your flow chart, which is really map out what you want the experience to look like. How do you want the orders to flow? Where do you want the data to be? How do you want to analyze that data in future, etc. So those are some of the key takeaways certainly that I had. I'm super grateful for your time. I think we're just about 1 minute over, Victoria. So thank you so much. This session will be recorded for everybody out there. But thank you, Victoria and Derek.
Awesome. Thank you both so much. I'll give you one final quick question, Victoria. I think you kind of saw my stats that I was giving right before you guys came on. I'm just curious how you might think about some of these metrics like tech spend per order, or the amount of orders being processed by person in the operations team, like kind of as a makeshift metric of showing how well automated MaryRuth's is.
Oh, that's such a good question. And the metric you showed about like your tech spend per person and how you expect that to change. I think these are the things that are most important, because going from 1 to 10, we've done that. Going from 10 to 100 is really where we're at. And we have to capitalize on scale. So absolutely having people process more orders, having the price to process an order decrease. You just, that's your bread and butter.
Is there any secret hack to getting those numbers lower?
Kill the spreadsheets.
Kill the spreadsheets. Yeah, just bring it back to that. Okay, I love it. Awesome. Thank you both so much. We're going to move right into our next session. See you guys.